Good afternoon, everyone. Due to the historic COVID-19 crisis, this Memorial Day is unlike any we've ever experienced, a fact which is difficult on all of us. But Memorial Day is important, and it's important for us to make sure that we remember those who have sacrificed to make sure that we are free. It's also in this crisis that we find renewed meaning in this moment in the service and sacrifice of our fallen heroes and Gold Star families. I am joined today by Brigadier General Mark C. Jackson, Director of the Joint Staff of the Illinois National Guard, as well as Modi Lavin, Gold Star mother to Corporal Connor T. Lowry, U.S. Marine Corps, who was killed in action on March 1st, 2012. And I'm pleased to also be joined by my wife, Amy Eshelman, First Lady of the City of Chicago. While we are unable to continue many of our Memorial Day traditions this year, we have nonetheless gathered here now to continue one very special tradition, and that is the laying of the wreath at the eternal flame. We do so as a solemn gesture of respect and gratitude to men and women and their families who gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country. The men and women we honor today were raised in different times, served in different places, and fought in different battles. But they all answered the same sacred call and gave the same final service to our nation. On this Memorial Day, we are also reminded of our renewed responsibility to honor their sacrifice by extending its legacy forward, and how we keep our fellow Chicagoans safe, care for those who are sick, and help our neighbors in this time of great need. And to do all we can to create a better country and a more perfect union worthy of their sacrifice, especially in this time of crisis, today and every day after. It's a humbling experience to be the mayor of the city of Chicago every day, particularly during this time. But one of the great honors of my time as mayor has been to join with other people and celebrate our men and women in the armed services. And what better way than on Memorial Day to honor the service and the sacrifice. We sometimes take these things for granted, and we never should. The men and women who answer the call to service and wear the uniforms of our military are truly our heroes, and we need to do everything we can to honor their sacrifice. And at this time, I'd call Brigadier General Mark C. Jackson to the podium for a few words. General?
Thank you, Mayor. Modi, thank you for being here. In 1868, first Memorial Day was observed. And it was probably a small gathering like what we're seeing here today. And from that point on, it's been celebrated and honored for those who gave their lives not only in combat and war, but during their service or died later. It's a day of remembering those who have passed, those who have sacrificed, and those who gave selfless service or made the ultimate sacrifice. And even in times of pandemic in 1918, they still had Memorial Day. And 102 years later, we're doing it again. So Mayor, I really appreciate you taking this opportunity during this pandemic to make this happen, and that we can honor those who came and went before us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Senator Tammy Duckworth, and it's an honor to join you, albeit virtually, to honor Memorial Day. Memorial Day may look different this year, but this weekend is still a somber reminder of our service members, veterans, and family members of the true cost of war. It is a time to remember those who did not come home with us, to honor those families who suffered the loss of a loved one, and to recommit ourselves to living our lives in a way that honors the sacrifice of those who risked their lives to serve our nation. It is a time for us to remember that wars are not fought by faceless, nameless troops. They are fought by our neighbors, friends, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and children. And they leave behind grieving families deserving of respect and support. This Memorial Day, I'm going to be thinking of all those warriors who sacrificed for the nation they loved. I'm going to be thinking about my friends who did not make it home from war. I'm going to be thinking about the stories they told about their families and the hopes they shared for their futures. We will never begin to repay the debt we owe them and their loved ones, but it's on us to try. So let's use this day and every day trying to lead the lives that honor the sacrifices that they deserve. Right now, that includes ensuring that our veterans and all Americans should stay as safe as possible during this pandemic. This includes expanding testing and tracing, getting hospitals the resources that they need, boosting grant funding for small businesses, including those owned by veterans, and funneling more support into hunger prevention programs like SNAP, which more than 1 million veterans rely on to survive. Towards the end of the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln said that we must always strive to care for him who has borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan. This Memorial Day weekend, as our nation faces a very different crisis, let's recommit to heeding President Lincoln's words, for there is no better way to honor the sacrifices of our fallen heroes than by acting in service of others. God bless all of our troops who are in harm's way right now. God bless all of our nation's veterans, as well as those who have lost their lives in sacrifice to protect and defend each and every one of us. And always, God bless the United States of America. Be well.